Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to wait for a few minutes for people to join in. Let's give 10 seconds for all the Women Who Win members just to join in. I see that some people were waiting to come live and see this wonderful session and inspiring session with today's guest with us. I once again welcome all the viewers who join us live on this particular day, celebrating Menstrual Hygiene Day, which we talk today being 28th of May. Yes, thank you so much, everyone joining. This is Simi Bhasin, founder of Women Who Win, and this is a community of women entrepreneurs. And today's session is for women. And today's speaker is very, very popular. The guest here is very close, very, very popular, and I know women love her movies and her new, book which she's launched. We're going to talk about that. So today, let's talk about today, 28th May. So all of us, I think even I didn't know when I was looking for it, why 28th May. 28th May is because of Menstrual Hygiene Day, is because an average menstrual cycle is 28 days. And May is the fifth month because it represents the average 5 days of menstruation. So that's why 28th May. So let's celebrate today. I welcome my co-moderator here, my fellow moderator, Bharti Trivedi, with me. Hi, Bharti.
Hi, Tiska.
So yes, Bharti is working very passionately on this particular aspect, that is menstrual hygiene. Her flagship initiative is Kavach a Moment. It is an ambitious project donating personal hygiene necessity items to the underprivileged, and she is doing with lot of passion and lot of commitment she gives to underprivileged girls. And she also talks about sexology programs, and she also goes to BMC schools and talks about menstrual hygiene. So welcome, Bharti.
Thank you so much, Sydney.
Also, today's topic is considered a social stigma by a lot of people. What it needs is an unashamed conversation, and I would like to welcome you all to take this first step towards awareness. This is what our special guest today, Tiska Chopra, an actor, a celebrity author, tries to accomplish through her book, What's Up With Me. The book is Puberty, Period, Pimples, People and More. Welcome, Tiska, to our chat show on Women Who Win.
Thank you, Simi. Thank you, Bharti. Thank you for having me. And what a wonderful topic we have ahead of us. Because today's World Menstrual Hygiene Day, and this is an area which is so severely lacking. So I applaud you for choosing this topic and connecting me with all the wonderful women who are on your platform.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out and talking to the women here. We have all women entrepreneurs. The community is for women, by women. And I think today's topic is going to be very, very, I feel they're going to connect to it for their girl child, even for boys, So my first question to you, let's not, talk about what the day is all about. Let's talk about the book which you have just launched, and which is the apt day today to talk about your book. That is, what inspired you to write book on this subject?
So my editor, Vidhi Bhargava, who works at Westland, which is the publishing wing of Amazon, came to me, and she's a schoolmate. She's from my school, and I've known her years and years. She's actually my younger brother's classmate. And she told me that, you have an 8-year-old daughter, and why don't you write a book about, like a letter from mothers to their daughters? Why don't you write a book about this? And that was the first lockdown. So I was like, I don't know, who's going to concentrate and write. There's so much happening around the house, etc. And then I thought about it and I thought about it and I realized that there is indeed a great deal that needs to be done in this area, particularly for young girls till the time that they are children. They're about 8, 9, 10, 11. They're called one large group called bache. And as soon as a girl gets her period, she starts getting told different things. अच्छा रात को बाहर नहीं ले जाना है, ये नहीं करना है, वो नहीं करना है, सीधे बैठो, ऐसा मत करो, वैसा मत करो. All those do's and don'ts start for young girls. And I feel that from that time, subconsciously, we start putting girls on the back foot. We start putting guilt, we start putting blame, we start putting shame into them as if there's something embarrassing. And even today, like you go to a chemist in Bombay, and this happened to me. I went to a chemist and I needed some sanitary napkins, and I stopped my car. I told the driver, "मैं जाती हूँ, लेके आती हूँ." So I went to the chemist, and this was our regular chemist, the guy who supplies to us. So we were driving back home from somewhere, and I told him my sanitary napkin de dijiye. And there were a couple of people standing around. Few people looked, few didn't. Being Bombay, but he wrapped it in sort of a newspaper thing. So I said, "क्या
Yes.
दे रहे हैं? Are you giving me a gun or a bomb?" The sanitary napkins. Why are you covering it? इसमें क्या शर्म है? And there were people around, and he's like, नहीं मैडम मैं तो सोच रहा था आप हैं. I said मुझे कोई शर्म नहीं है. दे दो, ऐसे दे दो. And I took the packet and I went to my car, and I just feel that there is a whole lot of stigma and taboo, and we as older women can process it. We're grown up and we understand. But when a 12, 13-year-old girl sees this subtle message in kitchen में मत जाओ, अचार को मत हाथ लगाओ, ये मत करो, वो मत करो, मंदिर में मत जाओ, it's also unscientific. And it bothers me because from that time on, girls start feeling lesser than boys. And we're telling them that as a society. So I just wanted to like address it before they learn anything. And they have to then unlearn that with conscious effort, or some of them may not get the opportunity to unlearn. So I actually want to put that messaging across to them that uh, there's nothing wrong with you. This is biological, and 50% of the planet will be getting their period, and you are part of that 50%, and you're privileged. So, from period shame, I wanted to introduce the idea of period pride, that you can actually have babies, you know. So,
Yeah. So you said it right that first we make them conscious and then they have to unlearn it. So let's not, let's put it, let's make the right attempt in the beginning only and make them very comfortable about this, periods. And yeah, you're so right. So yes, now my next question to you is it, we are talking about book and you're talking about menstrual awareness and the changes which comes in your body, and you're also talking about emotional aspect of it. So is it only to the age group, specific age group you're touching this book, or anyone or everyone can read it?
so actually, the book is it's a book for a family. It's a book for schools. It's a book which can between friends. So I've written it in a
Yeah.
very light sort of way. It's got a lot of doodles in it. It's got a very informal style of talking. So it's almost as if you're talking to a slightly older friend who's gone through an
Yeah.
experience and they're sharing that with you. I tried not to talk down to people because that's not the idea. So we talk
Yeah.
about it's my wish as an author that this book be read by the family. And I'm particularly keen that the responsibility of speaking about menstruation and periods and growing up and all of this is left to the mothers. So it is my wish that fathers get into the mix because the time is such. And so if a father is going to the chemist, the daughter should feel very free and relaxed and say, Daddy, can you just get I'm running out of sanitary napkins. Can you get me some? Because what is the abnormality in this? What's so
Yeah.
abnormal about having your period? In fact, if you don't get your period, it's a clear sign that you have endometriosis or PCOD or PCOS or some other symptom. So actually, you
Yes.
should be getting your period. And if you're not, it will be a problem. So I want to normalize the conversation. And yesterday I was chatting with a bunch of girlfriends, and everyone had such horror stories to share about periods that somebody had to lie and say that, I sat on some dirt, and somebody had to say something else. And there's so much rubbish that young girls get told without a
Yeah.
scientific basis to it. So in the book, I tried
Yes.
to include. I've got a wonderful gynecologist, Dr. Mala Arora, who used to head FOXI, the Gynecological Association of India. And I
Yeah.
also have Malvika Verma, who's a therapist. Um,
Yeah.
and I've included their points of view so that young girls have science, they have therapy, they have doodles to entertain them, and they can talk to their friends about it. Fathers and mothers can read it together. And for mothers also, it's not the easiest topic. My daughter's 8.5, and the book is dedicated to her.
Yeah. So I see this interesting doodles here. The illustrations make it very, very interesting, and it's not a boring book. Even the kid would pick it up and just go through the illustrations.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
Okay. So I believe you said that in one of the interviews I said that you have specially introduced this book to your daughter. So would you like to talk and just share that experience? How old is she, and how did you introduce? Because that will inspire many moms.
I hope it does. I don't know about Inspire, but we all learn from each other. I'm on my daughter's school moms group, and that is my mainstay. That really helps me to stay connected because often I'm shooting or working, and there's some poetry recitation or something or the other coming up. I've always believed that it's women. Uh, it takes a village to raise a child. It's not a solo effort, and any help that
Yeah.
we can get is always welcome. So I think when Vidhi, my editor, who's contributed enormously to the book from Westland, she told me that you know, do a quick fact check with your daughter, see if she likes the book. So I was like, what a wonderful idea. So they sent me an early copy of the book. They sent it to me from Westland, and it was a mock copy which had the manuscript inside, but it was a mock cover. And
Oh,
I presented it to my daughter because the book is dedicated to her. And normally, if I'm around at home, WFH, work from home, which is going on for the past like year and a half, seems
yeah.
like forever. So normally about 15 minutes, my daughter will make one round of my room wherever I am, even if I'm on a Zoom call or I'm on a live session. She will come and check and see, Mama, something, I'm hungry, this, that, the other, this is not working, that's not working, something comes in every 15 minutes. So I gave her the book and I said, okay, I'm doing some work, have a look. And I left and I forgot about it. For 45 minutes to an hour, I didn't hear from her. And I was like, what's going on? Where has she gone? Where has she disappeared? So I went outside my work from home space and I saw that she was curled up in the sofa and she was reading the book. And her nose was into it and she wears glasses. So she was like her glasses here and she was reading that book. And I was like, I tried to be very cool about it and very casual about it, though I was madly excited. So I said, what do you think? She said, it's nice. I like it, Mama. So I was like, oh, thank you. I'm so happy. And yeah,
Okay.
and then about 5 minutes later, when I was walking back to my home office, she says, Mama, we talk about boys. So I said, yeah, I think I know that you talk about boys. So I've observed her very carefully as a mom. I watch her and her friends interacting with each other. I see the kind of language they use and the kind of songs they listen to, whether it's an Ariana Grande or it's Dua Lipa or whatever they're listening to. So I'm constantly watching. So I've put a lot of their speak, their language, their manner of relating to each other into the book and try to make it easy for them to relate, and yet there is science behind that. So try to cover both aspects, and yeah.
Yeah, I feel the illustrations make it very interesting, and I'm sure she's going to share with her friends and take it very proudly. See, this my mom has written, and that's how she's going to market it for you and talk about your book. No, that's true. So if we talk of our time when we used to have those book, we're not going to talk about the book range, but the illustration books, we used to give it to our kids and they used to flip across. and just see, and that stays in their mind, and
Of
it's a
course.
uh, very healthy knowledge.
Yeah, and Akanksha Agnihotri, who's done the doodles in the book, is so fabulous. I think she's not getting enough credit for the work she's done. She's really made the book something else. And I owe her a huge amount of gratitude, as do I owe Vidhi and my daughter and my husband, who tolerated me sitting for hours and writing the book and working on it and all of that. So um, there's a lot of people who've gone into writing this book, including my daughter's friends and their reactions and all of that. So every birthday gift for the next 2 or 3 years, they're going to get a copy of the book with their birthday gift, every friend. And it's my hope
Yeah,
that mothers and daughters and friends will share it. And also, it should be available in school libraries, because we've addressed everything from the right kind of bra, the kind of bras that are available, the kind of menstrual, the progress that has happened in that area in terms of sanitary napkins and menstrual cups and panty liners and all of that. We've also tried to talk
yeah,
about body hair. We've tried to talk about body shaming and body pride, that every body is different. And we tried to talk about boys, and we've tried to talk about frenemies. We've spoken about, you know, how boys get their puberty, and what happens to them and what's happening to you, and how it's a tough time for both boys and girls, and there's nothing to be frightened about. So we've
yeah,
addressed a number of issues. So I'm hoping that it's going to make the journey for young girls, because it's a tough time. It's a confusing time, and your hormones are, there's a roller coaster inside you, and you don't know what's happening inside you. So I hope that What's Up With Me will make the path into adulthood easier for young girls.
yeah, yeah. It's a very interesting name. What's up with me? Yeah, very, very interesting. It makes you
I'm glad you like it.
curious that, yeah, what are you talking about in this book? So I just want to, ask you for what tips would you give it to? You've talked a lot about how you handle, and we have women entrepreneurs in our community. What tips would you like to give to the mothers here?
The only thing that I would like to talk about, I'm not the best mother on the planet, and yet every mother is the best mother, because she knows
Yeah,
what her child needs and what she's dealing with. And I think don't be guilty. You need time for yourself. Uh, you're a human being by
yeah,
yourself. Because you become a mother doesn't mean that you've become um, accessible at all times. So there is certain boundaries that you need to set for yourself and say, okay, this is time for me. I'm there for you
yeah,
emotionally, psychologically, till the day I'm not on this planet anymore. And even from any other planet, I'll still be watching out for you, my child. And that's the kind of feeling a mother has. But for now, for me to be sane and for me not to lose my cool and for me not to be irritable and cranky, I need some time, whether it is to read or watch my favorite show or to chat with my girlfriends or to sleep in the afternoon or whatever it is that is your thing. Water my plants. I mean, whatever it is that you do, write a book, write poems, read something. I think everyone needs a little time for themselves and everyone needs a little silence. And children are the opposite of silence. They are noise. And sometimes they're like, oh my God, I'm going mental with this noise. So I'm like, this is shh time. Shh, nothing. So just
yeah,
music and, so quieten down. And I think that
yeah,
just gives us our center back. Otherwise, women have a tendency to give, 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 give. And there's nothing left for you. And then you start feeling like a chusa hua aam, sara mera juice nikal gaya. I have nothing more to give. And then it's not a willing giving, you know. You don't want to give willingly. And you're like, "Uff, bus. And you shouldn't reach that point. You should draw those boundaries and feel no guilt for it, because you owe it to yourself. That's what I believe, and make sure I have time for myself.
yes. So important. Now I'll call Bharti Trivedi, my fellow moderator here. The menstrual hygiene is very close to her heart. So I feel what the question which she's going to put in really means a lot. Bharti, over to you.
Hi, hi. Thank you, Simi. Hi, Tiska. Wonderful
Hi,
talking to
Bharti.
you and hearing you. And
Thank you.
I feel
Likewise.
very honored and privileged to talk to you. And especially since you've written this wonderful book, of course we have some connection. I am from Panchgani, where you have done your Tare Zameen Ke, and in fact I did my schooling 11th 12th from New Era School. So
Wow.
and
Wow.
and secondly, I must congratulate you for writing this beautiful and simply a simple book on menstrual hygiene, talking about the most taboo topic in our country. Because I'll tell you the reason. It has come at a wonderful time during the pandemic, when schools are shut, and people like us, like who are doing workshops on sexuality education, on menstrual hygiene, we are not able to go to schools and conduct the workshops. So this book has been a boon to these girls. I want to ask you one very personal question, actually. That since I'm working basically for underprivileged girls and Adivasi schools, Adivasi girls, do you plan to write this book in Hindi or any regional language, which will benefit a lot and lot of girls of our country? Because I'll tell you the
That's
reason, because mothers are not comfortable in their own sexuality and not comfortable talking about menstrual hygiene to their daughters. About menstruation or sexuality education is not imparted by parents who actually should be the first teachers. So if a book like this is translated, I think it will be wonderful.
Bharti, that's a suggestion that's been coming at us repeatedly, and I think Westland is taking note of this. I wrote the book the book came out on the 22nd of March, and then pretty soon, like within 10 days of that, we were in the second wave of things.
Right.
So we didn't get a chance, and I didn't think it was the right time to start talking about the book because there were larger issues floating. Survival was becoming an issue in the second wave.
Yeah.
So now is when we picked up conversations around the book because things are a lot better now. But I wholly and completely agree with you on that because it is a very significant uh, strata of society that needs this information and science behind it. Because the essential idea, of course, the idea was to write this book and whatever, but my subtle idea behind writing this book was that there is a gender issue in our country. There is a huge amount of patriarchy. And I'm not saying either matriarchy or patriarchy is good or bad. I'm just saying that uh, there need not be an archy, patriarchy, matriarchy, whatever. There doesn't need to be that. It needs to be people living freely and joyfully, living their lives on this planet for whatever time they're here. Live it as joyfully as you can with as many freedoms as possible without affecting the freedoms of others. But the freedoms of women are very severely questioned by norms, and it is those norms that bother the living daylights out of me because and the differentiation, as I was saying a little earlier, starts at the time of puberty. That's when it starts. कि ये इधर नहीं जा सकते, वो उधर नहीं कर सकते, वो नहीं हो सकता. Till a daughter doesn't get her period, she can happily sit in her father's lap and jump up and down and do whatever. The minute she gets a period, it becomes like, and she starts feeling that. She starts feeling that very badly. That what happened? What happened? I'm your little girl, right? I still am your little girl. But that difference starts coming, and there's this whole lot of so the ancient Indian text, and I'm not going to name a book, but Indra supposedly killed, shot an arrow at Vritra, Brahman, a high caste Brahman, and he was a sharp was given to him that he couldn't or didn't want to take, and that sharp he went to women and said that can you please take this sharp on my behalf, and women took the sharp and would bleed 5 times a month for 5 days every month and repent for Indra's crime or attack on Vritra. And I thought that idea, that repent, that there's guilt, that there's shame. Why? That's the idea. So I was just thinking to myself when I read this, like when I was doing research on the book, and I was like, seriously, we're talking about this as guilt and shame and dirt. This is what gives birth to human beings. If you don't get your period, you
Exactly.
can't have a child. and yet we're
Exactly.
talking about it in this way of dirt. किचन में मत जाओ, मंदिर में मत जाओ, दूसरे कमरे में रहो, दूध खराब हो जाएगा. And countries across the world, in Italy, they talk about it that if you touch dough, pizza dough or dough, atta, that will ferment. And in other countries, they say that if you touch mayo or cream, mayonnaise or cream, it will rot. In yet other countries, they say that if you leave your uh, pad outside and a snake goes over it, the snake will become blind when it crosses your blood. So I'm saying
Oh
that,
my
these kind of ideas are being put into women across the planet even now, and I just feel that enough. I think this is nonsense. It's complete nonsense. It annoys me, and I think it puts young girls on the back foot. So
Yes,
these are the
basic
kind of,
period dignity is what we are talking about. See,
I call
So
it
when we,
hashtag period pride.
okay, yeah, so it's so important. I totally agree. So basic period dignity is stopping the progress of the girls and women today when they are deprived of basic feminine hygiene needs. And unless
Yep.
they are educated and everybody gets access to the hygiene products, I think there is no way we can progress, right? So Tiska, I would like to
Absolutely
ask
true.
you your period story first. Your first period story. How was it?
So my period story is rather interesting. My We were shifting from Afghanistan back to India at that time, and my parents were very busy. And I think my mom and dad had so many massive changes going on in their lives. My dad had a new job. My mom was also looking for work here because we left quite suddenly from Afghanistan, and my younger brother and my schooling needed to be taken care of and all of that. And I think we forgot to have that discussion in the looking for a house, in the looking for a school, and all of that. And I met my cousins for the first time because we were in Afghanistan for close to 10 years, and I was, I think, in the fifth standard. Yeah, fifth standard. And one of my elder cousins told me that, have you got your period? So I said, what is that? And she said, you're going to bleed. And I was firstly shocked. Bleed? Blood? Oh my God, what is this? And then she told me that it means it means that you're going to have a baby. I was like,
Yeah.
now what? Like I'll have a baby now. And I was so shocked. I remember thinking, and then in my mind it played out very differently. I thought that अभी baby होगा तो मेरे को अपना ही घर खरीदना पड़ेगा because अपने parents के साथ मैं अपने baby के साथ कैसे रहूंगी because my mother lives with her babies. And then I thought that okay, then there will be the father, and who will be the father, and then so that was one narrative. And the other cousin who was from a small town in India, and she came visiting and she told me, "Tera wo ho gaya?" So I said, "Kya ho gaya?" So and I was a tomboy and I was like, probably sitting in some tree somewhere, doing some stuff. And she told me, "नहीं वो periods हो गए?" So I said, "नहीं." So she said, "अभी तक तो तू फिर innocent है. अभी तक तो तू पवित्र है." I was like, and उसके बाद? She said, उसके बाद हम वो हो जाते हैं, basically we become evil. So I was like, I don't want this period. I don't want to become evil because your reference of evil is all these witches and that kind of thing. So I was like, this is ridiculous. So I didn't want young girls to deal with this kind of nonsense, and anybody who tries to put them on the back foot. And I'm talking about society as whether it's their grandparents who come from another time, or if it's some other friend's mother or mother-in-law, or anybody who's trying to put women or girls on the back foot. When they read this book, there is such science. We've done cute little doodles of the uterus, of the fallopian tubes, of eggs coming down, and what happens, and what happens, and we've addressed everything from pimples to pads to uh, everything, to hair growth on the body, to breasts, to everything. So that the idea is that if anybody gives you any kind of nonsensical yarn, you can fight back with facts and science and say, sorry, what you're saying is a good story, but that's all it is. It's a story. These are the facts. and they can, Google it for them and whatever, so that they can fight back. And knowledge is power, so you give them knowledge. So that's the reason for actually writing this book, so I can pour steel into the spines of young girls, so that they don't have to unlearn anything. They've already learned it the right way, and they know what's what. So if anybody tries to tell them anything other than facts, then they can rebut that.
See, actually, it's I personally feel the book is not only for girls. I would love to give the boys also, because boys also should know that what is it for the girls to get periods and respect period dignity, and that's how we will be giving period dignity to the men, the girls and women of our country, and every men and women, every man, boy and man, whether it's home, whether it's office, workplace, or the society, should understand, be educated about the women who goes through this beautiful period of her life. I think it's wonderful. It's just
Yes.
tells you that you are a woman. I think just to be a woman, I feel proud to be a woman, and I am not ashamed to get periods. And it's only because of my periods that the men are born. So I think we all should respect women and respect this menstrual hygiene day and celebrate it.
Absolutely. There was ancient cultures where once a
Yes, they
girl got her
celebrate
period,
menstrual. Yes,
they would take the young girl and treat her like a goddess. They would put her on a
yes,
thing, like a pedestal, and the whole community would come and offer her gifts, because she was the one who was going to continue the tribe.
yes.
Now
Because
it meant that there was one more person who was going to be able to make sure the tribe continued. So I
true,
think that is so significant, you
true.
know.
Yeah.
And we've lost that idea of divine feminine. We've become all like, the culture of rape, the culture of. So it comes from that whole feeling of what I was talking about, the Indra and the Vritra
Yes,
legend, where shaming and guilt and dirt is put into all of this. Um, I've also written in the book that girls should, if they feel like, go to the bathroom and look at their bodies, look at their vagina, look at their breasts, understand their bodies, and understand the miracle that it is, and the
Yeah.
beauty that there is in the body. So, it's all of these things that I've tried to include in the book, and I hope that, the change that is required is so huge, and at least the book can be a conversation starter between families.
Yes. Sure. So I have one question again. That is, are you thinking of menopause? That's also very, very, uh, close topic for women. So puberty and menopause, because a lot of hormonal changes happen during that time also.
Yeah, maybe when I am closer to that age and I feel like writing about that. Yeah, maybe.
Yes, you
But
should.
yeah, I think it's a good idea. But I think for starters, translating the book into uh, many languages, that's something that's coming at me from many people. And Bharti, since you've been working with marginalized communities, I think it's extremely significant that you're speaking about it, and I will have a discussion with my publishers. And now that we started talking about the book again, and you hosted me on this wonderful session, I hope that we can take that discussion forward. And Bharti, I hope that fingers crossed that will be something that we can do next.
absolutely, absolutely. I will definitely connect with you and work with this in a big way. I would really
Thank
like
you.
to set a trend of gifting books to girls who are just entering the menarche, and it's going to be the best gift a mother or a friend can give a girl.
I hope so. I hope so.
So
Yes,
me and Bharti were talking that we are going to have a campaign on our community where we'll do awareness campaigns every month and give your book as a gift to all the
yes.
winners. So yeah. So we have actually formulating a campaign in the
I'm
community.
so excited. So excited.
Yeah.
Please share
So we would
feedback
really
with
like you to
West.
be a part of it also, Tiska. It would be really nice if you be a
I'd
part.
love to. I'd love to. We'll talk to the publishers and we'll make it happen. I'm so delighted because it is through wonderful platforms such as yours that we can truly penetrate deeper into the community and one person at a time change mindsets. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
having me, and I'm deeply honored
It
that
was
you thought of
wonderful.
me.
It was
Thank you.
wonderful
So there are a lot of
Thank you
questions
so
where
much.
people are asking where to get the book from. I see a lot of queries where they're saying that.
The book is
Yeah.
available
So,
online and in bookstores. Once bookstores open, it will be available in bookstores. And right now, it's available online, so you can check it out on Amazon. It's called What's Up with Me, and I think we'll. Do we have a copy of the book somewhere? One of you has it with you. I have it in another room. I should have kept a copy here, but let me see if I have a book cover uh, in my phone, so at least I can show people what it looks like. Give me a minute. But meanwhile, do we have any other questions that people want to address while I'm looking for the book?
um, so Bharti, you have any question?
Yes, looking for a book on boys.
Yes,
Maybe.
that was another thing that came at me. People saying that we should have a book for boys. So yeah,
It's very important.
okay. So
And then for older girls also.
that's what the book cover looks like.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So that's the book, and yeah, uh, it's available in bookstores as I see it.
So thank you so much. Yes, we are going to play this video. I've created a video and everyone should see it in the end. Thank you so much, Trista, on first of all coming to our platform. Uh, a big congratulations to you for this wonderful book which you have written for the much needed challenges for girls, and I think you made it very, very simple. So I once again thank you for giving your time and introducing and talking about your book. Thank you.
Yes, and especially on this
Thank you,
menstrual
Bharti.
hygiene day.
Thank you, Simi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both
It
so
was
much.
wonderful.
Lots of love, everyone. Stay safe.
Yes.
Thank you so
Bye.
much and all the
Bye.
best in your
Thank you.
acting career, because a lot of people say we are your fans. We are not taking that because I know you're very busy, but they all want to give you a hug and say, yeah, we love your movies because they're very different.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to taper off the conversation by saying one thing that essentially I'm a storyteller, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I'm also a writer, director, and producer, but essentially I'm a storyteller. I like telling stories. So for me, uh, and the kind of work that I do, it is I pour my heart into it, uh, thinking that I'm communicating in my own way with each one of you. And it feels so wonderful that, it's like we are having a secret conversation. Certain things that we do in our performances, people catch it. And then they talk to you that, wo aapne aisa kiya tha, wo aapne aisa kiya tha, and they catch it. And that is the biggest satisfaction to an actor because it's like you're playing a treasure hunt with your audience, that you and I are playing a game. We're playing a game where we're finding new things, new stuff, and you watch it a couple of times and you watch it third time, fourth time, whatever. So I'm very happy that I have such a cultured and nuanced audience, and it makes me feel very honored. And thank you everyone for loving the work, and it pushes me to work harder. Thank you and
Yes.
lots of love.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hi, girls. Hi, Simi.